Next one. So here, what are the various fire tube boilers we are having? So here you can check it out: simple, Cochrane, Cornish, Lancashire, and locomotive boilers, and Scotch boiler. So this is the starting of the second video. So here, okay, next slide. As discussed, fire tube boilers are all low pressure boilers only. This is only for your understanding. While writing the Cochrane boiler, when somebody is asking, it is only for basic purpose. But in exam point of view, we are having high pressure boilers. So this is for your notes purpose. You can go through it. Okay. Next one. Next slide. This is Cochrane boiler, and we'll be showing the video links also. What are the things? So here, when you're writing about the boiler means, you have to mention this cell diameter, height, what is the working pressure of it, what is the steam capacity of it, what is heating surface, and also what is the efficiency. So these points we have to take into the consideration. Okay, next one. Next slide. So here this is the basic diagram of the Cochrane boiler. You can see based on this thing, we're having it as a vertical boiler. Am I right or wrong? It is a low pressure boiler because it is 15 bar only, and we are having multiple tubes here because we can see the arrow marks here. Somewhat it might not be clear. We'll show the video. And then we are having the grate here, and also the gases are passing inside the tube. So it is a fire tube boiler. Fire gases means at the ash pit and the air and also the fire door and the grate. Here we are heating the gases. The hot gases are passing inside the tube, means the arrow marks are passing inside the tube. So those are called it as hot gases inside the tube, water surrounding the tubes. So these things we call as fire tube boiler. So here vertical boiler, it is a vertical boiler, it is multiple tube boiler, it is stationary boiler. Here we are using it on the land. We can't tell that one here, but mostly it will be used in the land only. And it is a low pressure boiler. Like this we can come, and also multiple tubes. All the 7 types can be classified here. Okay, and also the mountings are there. Here various mountings are stop wall, pressure gauge, and all the things are there. Here they didn't mention any accessory which is trying to improve the efficiency of it. It's not mentioned. So here these are the basic things. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Next slide. So this is the locomotive boiler for your understanding in exam point of view. And mostly these boilers won't be covered because it is of low pressure boilers. Next slides. Please go to high pressure boiler. Next. So like this we have to write the merits and demerits. So this is a basic diagram. Okay, stop it. So this is the things we call it as. Here we can take the consideration as what are the various water tube boilers. So there we have discussed water tube boiler will be high pressure boiler, but it is of the medium one, not so we can't call it as a low pressure, and also we can't call it as a high pressure one. It is a medium one. So here what is the thing is, all water tube boilers can be considered for the exam point of view. All water tube boilers will be given for exam. So that is the reason we have to keep in the mind what is the importance of the Babcock and Wilcox boiler also. Next slide. So this is the practical thing we can show you. The part what is having, we call this boiler as Babcock Wilcox boiler, and the tubes are inclined, and the particular steam generator vessel or the shell is horizontal one, and the tubes are inclined. It is having multiple tubes. Okay, next, sir. Next. So this is the example, or this is the diagram you have to draw. In the middle, we are having the baffles. All this thing will be explained to you again in the videos. It will be easily understanding for you all. Okay, next. So here, how to write the notes in exam point of view and all the things. What are the bullet points? Don't write it in a paragraph way. Write it in only the bullet point ways like this, so that it will be easy for us to understand what point you are written, what point you are not written. So here some technical terms will be there. You must ensure that technical terms is present in the content or in the write-up you are writing there. So in exam, please don't blindly write something like 5 pages. I must get 10 out of 10 marks. If you're writing 1 page exactly of this points clearly, you'll get 10 out of 10. Okay, next slide. So here, what is the high pressure boilers? In the previously we were discussing that one, and also here we can see that one. Here he has classified the high pressure boilers very clearly as where steam is needed at pressure 30 bar, and individual boilers are required to rise less than 30,000 steam 30,000 kg of steam per hour. Shell boilers are considerably cheaper than the water tube boilers. So when compared to the water tube boilers, shell tube boilers are considerably cheaper. But water tube, we are getting large quantity of the steam with high quality. So that is important. Therefore, water tube boilers are generally preferred for high pressure and high output, whereas shell boilers for low pressure and low output. So here one important point he is mentioning, water tube boilers are generally preferred for high pressure, high output, whereas Pokhran boiler, that is considered as low pressure and low output, internally fired, externally fired. And here there can be, this can be slightly transportable parts, and moreover the pressure parts are of smaller diameter and therefore can be thinner. So here we can tell it of high pressure boilers, we are having this all the constraints here and also all the positives here. Based on this point we can tell it off. And next one is the modern high pressure boilers employed for high generation units. High generation 1 per steam. In the previous slide, so it is of going around 30 to 500 tons per hour above the pressure up to 160 bar, and maximum steam temperature of around 540 degrees Celsius centigrade. So these are the points you have to keep it. We may go up to 160 also. Okay. Next one. Now we are going to the next slide. What are the unique features of the high pressure boilers? What are the unique features? So first one is the method of water circulation. Next, type of tubing. Next, improved method of heating. What are the different types we are having here? We can check it out here. So here, based on this method of water circulation, the circulation of the water through the boiler may be neutral circulation due to density difference or force of circulation. As discussed in the classification, it may be of natural circulation or force of circulation of the water. So in the modern high pressure boilers, the water circulation is maintained with the help of the pump, which forces the water through the boiler pan. And also the use of natural circulation is limited to subcritical boilers due to its limitations. So mostly the method of water circulation here it will be as forced circulation only. And also here we are not going to use a natural circulation. It is very limited, or it may be not using the natural circulation. Next one is the type of the tubing. In most of the high pressure boilers, the water circulated through the tubes and their external surfaces are exposed to the flue gases. So in the water tube boilers, if the flow takes place through one continuous tube, the large pressure drop takes place due to the friction. This is considerably reduced by arranging the flow to pass through parallel system of tubing. In most of the cases, several sets of tubes are used. This type of arrangement helps to reduce the pressure loss and better control over the quality of steam. So this is the different types of tubing how we are going to set up here. Next one is what is improved method of heating. The following improved methods of heating may be used to increase the heat transfer. The following methods can be used. What is the first one? The saving of the heat by evaporation of water above critical pressure of the steam. Okay. And next one, here the overall heat transfer coefficient can be increased by increasing the water velocity inside the tube and increasing the gas velocity above the sonic velocity. So these are the various points we are having how to improve the method of heating. Next one, in the next slide. What is the Lamont boiler? Lamont boiler, as discussed earlier, it is nothing but a high pressure boiler, and here it is the boiler works on forced circulation, and circulation is maintained by centrifugal pump. So here, while classifying the boilers, we learned some 7 things. All these 7 points must be included while writing that particular boiler very clearly. Forced circulation. For emergency electrical driven pump is also fitted. Next, the feed water process through the economizer. Economizer means we are having the accessory also to the drum from which it is drawn to the circulation pump. Next, the pump delivers the feed water, that is discussed because of the forced circulation. Next, we are having the superator also, where here we are having 2 accessories. One is superator and next one is economizer. Okay, next, these boilers have been built to generate 45 to 50 tons of superated steam at a pressure of 130 bar and temperature of 500 degrees centigrade. So these points are very important. Here it is how much it is going to generate, and next at what pressure and at what temperature we have to mention while writing the Lamont boiler. Next slide. So this is the basic Lamont boiler diagram. In exam, you have to write that matter and also draw this diagram. And these diagrams will be explained to you in the videos, in the live classes. It will be easy for you to understand. And for exam point of view, and this PPT is prepared for you in the exam point of view, so that you can open that boiler and also get ready with that particular answer. Okay, so this is the basic line diagram, which is easy for you to draw it. Okay, next one. And in the next slide. So here we are talking about the Benson boiler. So in this one, the main, so in the Lamont boiler, what is the difficulty? How we are overcoming that in the Benson boiler? That is what is discussed here. In the Lamont boiler, the main difficult experience is the formation and attachment of the bubbles on the inner surface of the heating tubes. So in the heating tubes, there is a problem of forming a bubbles. So that's the reason we must overcome that one in the Benson boiler. The attached bubbles to the tube surface reduce the heat flow and the steam generation, as it offers high thermal resistance than the water film. So that's the reason here we are considering that one in the Benson boiler. And also here, what is the pressure it can go up to? It can go up to 225 bar. He is trying to tell that. And also here, first high pressure Benson boiler was put into operation in 1927 in West Germany. Benson boiler doesn't use any drum. The feed water, after circulating through the economic tubes, flow through the radiant parallel tube section to evaporate partly. So it is a feed water after circulation only we are using. We are having economic tubes. Next slide. So here you can write the temperature, how much it is going to have the temperature of 650 we can go, and how much tons it is going to produce, and also what is the pressure it is having. So we have to mention all these points while mentioning the boilers. Next one, we can see the diagram of the Benson boiler. In the next slide, we can see the Benson boiler diagram. So this Benson boiler diagram you have to draw in exam point of view and write this matter what you have shared in the slide. Next one. So here, what are the various advantages of the Benson boiler? Here we can discuss is, and here it can be mentioned as it can be erected in a comparatively smaller floor area. The total weight of the Benson boiler is 20% less than the other boilers, since there are no drums. Because here there are no drums, so it will be very helpful for us. This also reduces the cost of the boiler. It can start very quickly, which is a good quality of a boiler because of the welding joints. Natural convection boilers require expansion joints, but they are not required for Benson boiler as the pipes are welded ones. The transfer of parts of the boiler is easy as no drums are required, and majority of the parts are carried up to the side without pre-assembly. So it is very easy for us traveling part and all the things. The blowdown losses of the boiler are hardly 4% only. The superator in the Benson boiler is integral part of the forced circuit system. So there won't be any special arrangement for the superator is required here, because the accessory is included in the forced system itself. So the cost also will be included before only. So always these are the advantages of the Benson boiler. We can check it out here. Next one.